Who in here has a business that involves retainers with clients? Okay, cool. Me too. But I came up with this idea of the retainer fallacy because retainers are an attempt to create predictable revenue around unpredictable value. I don't know how badly my client's going to need me next month. I don't know how much time they're really going to need. I don't know what problem they're going to face. I mean, I'm working on this thing called automation, which sort of implies fewer problems, not more, but I don't want them to stop paying me, right? So we sort of create this notion that they're going to really want me around and that they should pay to have me available, and hopefully, and then we're like, well, I hope they don't overuse me, but I also hope they don't underuse me, because if they underuse me, then they won't want to keep me, right? This is like, so retainers are ironic because they don't. Retainers are like, they're a double-edged sword. They're great, but you've got somebody that's on the hook paying you, and here's the problem. People hire a consultant or an agency or a strategist or a technologist or a professional implementer to do something that they definitely don't want to do for themselves, and probably one of the reasons they don't want to do it for themselves is they don't totally understand it, right? Who here sells a retainer service that does something for a client where in most cases the client doesn't totally understand what you do? People's values drive their value and drive what they value, right? Like they're outsourcing this thing that they know they need to do, but they don't fundamentally deeply value it the way they value like childcare for their kids, right? Because they pick up their kids every day. They play with them. They love them. They feel for them. So you want to so you're charging for this thing on an ongoing basis that's a little bit out of sight, out of mind. And frankly, the better you do your job, the more it stays that way, right? And that's why retainers generally actually really don't retain. That's why churn is a thing. So my notion was, and this is the headspace I was already in, and I realized it's not what you figure out, it's just who you know and who you hook up with, is let's focus on creating predictable value, not so much predictable revenue. Because if my clients are feeling the value every month, the revenue will just be there, right? And I don't have to sort of try to build this formula to tell them what I'm going to be worth based on circumstances that no one can control or predict. So that's the retainer fallacy. So creating predictable value. And the more I spent time with these clients and the more I talked to them and the more we did, follow-up surveys and really figured out where these business owners' heads are at. And again, I come back to these same three things. It's the fancy term is digital knowledge. That basically means your online presence. Like, what does Google think about your business? What does Yellow Pages think about your business? Can people find you? When Waze tries to direct people to your business, do they go the long way or the quick way? Like, consumers dealing with your business information. And then social strategy, which is predicated on this, like, well, I have to do it, but I don't want to do it. But now that I've done it, I have to keep doing it. And I wish I'd never done it. But if I'd never done it, then I know I would have, should have done it. Like, And then reputation management, which is like, we try so hard to please people, and the one guy that doesn't like us leaves us a bad review, and now I have to deal with it. And the only way to really deal with it proactively is to go on the offensive and start trying to get the people who do like my business to actually tell the world that they like my business, which how come the people that like me won't tell anyone? It's only the people that I let down somehow that want to go online at 4 o'clock in the morning, on their parents' dial-up internet connection because they haven't moved out of the basement and tell the whole world how I screwed them over and I'm Satan. But then I pleased 400 customers this month and none of them will say anything nice about me on the internet. It's maddening, right? Okay, next to childcare, like childcare, that's as visceral as it gets for the business owner, right? Like people that deal with his kids. People that deal with his business's information, perception, an online reputation, that's about as close to home as you can get for most business owners. You tap into that piece of their world, now you're dealing with value. Now you're dealing with something they understand. Now you're dealing with something they sweat about every day and they worry about every night when they go to sleep. What's Facebook going to say about me tomorrow? What's Google going to say about me tomorrow? Man, I know my competitor just hired an SEO guy. I know he did. I know he's going to knock me off. Like, that's the stuff these guys worry about, right? So you want to get into that world. You get into that part of their world, they'll never fire you or let you go or reconsider or whatever euphemism they use that basically says, I don't want to pay you anymore.